And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Monday, October 31st. Halloween is here. Welcome to a special Halloween edition of the process. I'm just kidding. There's no difference other than the graphics on the screen. Good to see everybody. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Hit the like button as you get in the door. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Head over to Twitter. Follow me at Josh Engleman. 7-game NBA slate we're going to break down today. It's going to be a good one. This is a perfect balance. I wish FanDuel's big contest was 100 up top and not the 50, but it is Monday Night Football and it is Halloween, so I get it. But it would have been nice. Either way, 7 games. Going to be fun. I'm on the strategy show today. I am not on Deeper Dive or Live Before Lock, so you're going to have to keep your eyes peeled to Twitter for my contenders updates later on. Tony Davis, how'd you end up last night? Did not play any NBA last night. Played NFL. Thought I had a good NFL day. Didn't, but that's the NFL for you on a monster scoring day. But no, I didn't play any NBA over the weekend. Getting back to it for today. Good morning to everybody here. We got quite the crew. Congrats to Hannah for taking down Underdog. Good to see. John Badger profitable in football yesterday. Good to see. Morning to everybody that's here. Good. Yeah, Tony, I'm getting dangerously close to being done. NFL. Don't need it. NBA is here. I'll enjoy it a lot more. Yeah, lots to break down. Fun slate, 7 games. It's nice to get a balance now. I feel like we've only been doing like 10s and 2s. So I couldn't be more into the NBA season right now. It's all I want to do. It's all I think about. I wish that I could just do it every single day. I would burn out if I did, but Larry, thanks. Philip, good morning. Larry, good morning. Yeah, it's good Halloween themed thumbnails and stuff. I was supposed to have these overlays on the contenders videos yesterday, but the witch on the side of right here, that witch was covering up some of the contender stuff, and I just wanted to record. So now we've got it on here. Tony, been around since the good old days, 2017, 2018. What's that, like -2, or that's 2 BC before COVID? Is that what we got? Anyway, let's get into it because I'm thirsty. I have a new creamer in my coffee. I don't know if it's going to be any good. So I've become a little lazy. I'm so lazy that I don't even order things on Amazon because it takes a day. But anyway, I happened to be in Walgreens picking up a prescription after I went to the dentist. And I just happened to be in like their supplements line. And I noticed that they have the creamer that I like. It's Vital some such shit vanilla collagen creamer. So I get that because I've had it before and it works and it's good. I go back yesterday because I was out. They didn't have any more. They have the chocolate version, but it doesn't say creamer. It's just like a different kind of powder. Now, it'll look the same, and it says coffee on the back of the thing, like the case. So I assume it's going to be good, but I have not taken a sip of this yet. I don't know if it's going to be grainy or awful, so I'm interested. So I guess we need to get to that point. So thank you guys for being here. It's good to see you. I've got my coffee, the only way we start off our Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, but I've got my coffee. I hope you guys do as well. Coffee, tea, water, beer, whatever you got for today. A little joint. Doesn't feel like a food day. I don't ever really, if I were hungover, it would be the Crunchwraps. By the way, wanted to bring that up. I do now officially know that the Crunchwrap at Taco Bell exists for breakfast. They showed that commercial 1,000 times yesterday when I was watching the NFL games. Pete Davidson just cannot stop shilling Taco Bell. So I did see it. It does look good. But today doesn't feel like a food day. I overate on Saturday, so I feel like that's all still in my body. So I'm going liquid for this morning. I've got the coffee. Here we go. Boom. Cheers, everybody. Rise and grind. Let's do it. Okay, that's pretty good. Nick, yep. Getting that collagen in here. Good nails, good hair. Yeah, that's not bad. If I'm being honest, it tastes like adult chocolate milk. It's like half chocolate milk, half coffee, which in my opinion is a dream scenario. So I can't be mad there. Let's get it started though. But before we do, we need to talk about the presenting sponsor, and that is not Prize Picks, although they are nice people. It is BetMGM. BetMGM, if you happen to be watching the show, I would happily wear a t-shirt or a hoodie or any sort of loose-fitting clothing while I do these reads, just putting it out there. There is a link in the description of my video. You can click that link, head on over. Now, you got to be new to BetMGM, and you have to be in a legal betting state. If you were in an illegal betting state, this will be a lot easier. But you got to be legal, and you got to be new to BetMGM. Head on over, make a deposit. All you have to do is put down $10 on any NBA money line. In this case, take the Milwaukee Bucks at home against the Pistons. You'll basically have as little risk as you could possibly have for an NBA game. No matter what, whether it wins or loses, you'll get $200 in free bets as long as somebody hits a three-pointer. We've got the Odd Shopper YouTube channel. We've got premium Discord with our betting picks. You guys can find a lot of additional information in the sports betting space from us if you're interested, but you got to start somewhere. Start by clicking that BetMGM link in the description of this video. Yeah, there you go. Stream Elements bot. Perfect timing. Must have heard me. Join the premium betting Discord. The link that is in the chat. All righty. Here we go. Let's move some stuff around. Let's switch to this. And then, yeah. Are we good? Chad, I got to ask you. Do we leave the witch on the screen? Or is that distracting? I'll leave it up to you, chat. I mean, my most exposed players yesterday were Pollard, which is no surprise, chalk. Tyreek Hill, no surprise, chalk. I had, I'm already going to forget. I had 35% Foreman. That got me nowhere. All right, Fidel says take it off. Only Steve so far says keep it. Doesn't look to be a popular decision. It is sort of aggressive. All right, so Witch is gone. Witch is gone. There we go. No Witch. Chat has spoken. Sorry, Chris Karen. Chat said no Witch. All right, let's get into it. Sacramento Kings taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Kings are 1.5 point favorites in Charlotte, 232 total. That's the third highest total on the slate. Obviously, we know this is not a game that will contain defense. It's not that kind of game. For Sacramento, no injury news. So this is pretty cut and dry here. Not going to have to dig in too much to this one. Although I do feel like I haven't talked about Sacramento all that much. Keegan Murray, I got in for 35 minutes. I feel good there. De'Aaron Fox I have in for 35 minutes. I feel good there. Harrison Barnes did play a little bit more these past two. Should probably be at like 32, so that's fine. Kevin Huerter playing a little over 30 minutes a game. I'm going to stick with 30. Sabonis has had some very, very interesting rotations so far. The 29th, Sacramento won by 6. And Sabonis had 2 fouls, 3 fouls, 5 fouls. Okay, fouled out. So I'm fine with Sabonis at, I'm going to go to 33 minutes. It'll give Rashawn Holmes 15. Don't think there's too much else that we need to change here. Trey Lyles is in the rotation. And they have been playing. So Trey Lyles made 10. We do need to take Davion Mitchell's minutes down. He is basically straight backup at this point. Monk is playing about 20 minutes. Terrence Davis is playing maybe 14. We need that. I got to get Trey Lyles on the floor here. 13 and 19 is 32. That gets Lyles on for 13. Doesn't feel like enough, but I don't know where else I would get those minutes from. And it's Trey Lyles, so I don't care. Yeah, I remember hearing Gentry talk about that. I thought it was going to mean Chimezie Metu. Turns out it did not mean Chimezie Metu. Let's see. What else do we got here? Okay, so I mean, minutes-wise, I think we're fine. I do want to look at Sacramento rates just to see when we have a team like this where, you know, we only have a relatively small sample with Sabonis last year, and, you know, Kevin Huerter is here now. Obviously, Keegan Murray is different. It's going to stabilize in a different manner. So paying attention to them on a day-to-day basis is a little bit more important than normal. So Fox is at 31% usage so far this season. Not that that's like a huge deal. Now, come on. Why is this being all stupid now? There we go. Sabonis' usage rate so far this season, 21.3. So 22.5 can keep. Keegan Murray is at 19. So I am going to bring that down a notch. For some reason, I projected Malik Monk's. That's fine. Harry Barnes is at 15.5. That's exactly where I have him right now. Ooh, background music's still up. Thanks for the shout, Tony. I don't need to be shouting over top of that. Appreciate you guys. Oh, sorry. You guys were all saying it and I wasn't looking at chat. Dr. DFS, Fidel, John Brown. Yeah. My bad, guys. My bad. It's Monday. You really get out of the flow of everything when you take 2 days off. Like, by Friday, I'm a well-oiled machine. I know what's going on for the show, but for now, I just forget. It's that simple. So thanks for letting me know. We didn't really get into anything yet. I don't have much that I want to change here, actually. It's all pretty normal. And obviously, like, I think Sacramento stinks, so there's also that. Fox's assist rate is down a little bit, but not too far off of his normal path. Harry Barnes doesn't get assists anyway. Sabonis assist rate is about where it normally is. Keegan Murray just not involved in passing the ball, which is kind of crazy. Would have expected Yeah, Herder does have the bump, which is good to see. Holy hell. Malik Monk's assist rate way higher than it normally is. That's something to pay attention to if Monk's getting a lot of like second unit creation. And then rebounding, I don't even think we're probably going to have to care too much about. It's not like Fox does it. Sabonis does do it and is doing a good job. Harry Barnes, fine. Keegan Murray, not really participating in the rebounding side of this one either. All right, Sacramento's in the dust. Let's go to Charlotte. And as we go to the Charlotte Hornets, are they getting anybody back finally? Doubtful tag on Terry Rozier, doubtful tag on Cody Martin. So these guys are just still out. And they're just doubtful over and over again, which is even crazier. But it does let us know that we can continue using the same rotations that we've had. I've got 33 minutes in for Dennis Smith Jr. That works for me. Teo Maledon, backup point guard, done. Mason Plumlee, we're going to take down to 24 minutes. Nick Richards seems pretty set at 21. TJ Washington, I'm going to put in for 30. I agree with Rob, though. If you haven't liked the video yet, you should. JT Thor with a little bit of playing time. Kelly Oubre at 32. Yeah, I mean, that's just what he's going to play for sure. Book Night back up. Gordon Hayward in for 33. Good. Jalen McDaniels in for... All right, that's where it starts to get tricky. 23... I mean, if they close DSJ, McDaniels, Oubre, Washington, Hayward, that's what... Like, they want to close PJ Washington at the 5. Especially in this matchup. They can, right? Did they close with PJ Washington at the 5 on the 29th? That was against Golden State in a W. It went to OT. Is that why Jalen McDaniels got so many minutes? Yes, but he did close. He closed over Mason Plumlee, which he should close over Mason Plumlee. So if they can close with PJ Washington at the 5, then I think we can see more Jalen McDaniels today. I do need to give him a little bump in minutes, but I don't want to go too crazy because he does tend to pop. I'm going to get him to 25 right now. We'll see where we end up. Rates can stay the same. This is the same sort of rates we had before. So let's look at this game then. For Sacramento, I like $8,200 Sabonis on DraftKings. He's just center eligible, which is kind of annoying. But on FanDuel, he's 7,700 in a matchup that fits him perfectly. Power forward center eligibility on FanDuel as well. Sabonis is my favorite play coming from Sacramento. Happy to get to Fox. You can work in Murray and Barnes and Herder and Monk to a degree, but Sabonis is an actual priority to me. I might have him like a little... I don't even think I have him over projected. He's a baseline 1.25 guy. He's been at 1.29 this season. I got him at 1.34 because this is a pace-up spot against a bad defense. Oh, holy shit. That coffee's so good. So good. Yeah, Sabonis is the takeaway here. $8,600 Fox on FanDuel, also good, but $7,700 Sabonis with power forward. I want that against Charlotte. Similarly, we're jamming this Hornets team. Dennis Smith, Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre, 6K, 6,200, 5,900 on DraftKings. Exceptional DraftKings plays. I don't understand why their prices haven't gone up for this yet. All three of these guys are fantasy point per minute guys playing 30 plus minutes in a competitive game. Like, just random variation alone is going to send one of those dudes past 40 fantasy points. You're basically required to have one of DSJ, Gordon Hayward, or Kelly Oubre in every lineup you make on DraftKings. That's how good it looks. No brainer. I like them on FanDuel too. They're just a little bit more expensive. You do get a little bit more positional freedom, but either way, they look good. PJ Washington and McDaniels, both fine. I think Plumlee's fine if you think that he, like, if they need him to close. Because, like, if PJ Washington is in foul trouble or something, like, Mason Plumlee's going to close. Or if you just want extra heft against the bonus, get yourself some of this game, folks. That's going to be a popular one as we work our way through it. Next up, we're going to go to Philadelphia at Washington. The Sixers are 4.5-point favorites. It's a 218 total. Let's see what we got going on for the Philly side of this one. What? Hair on my nose? You never know. All right, for Philly, Q tag on Embiid. He sat out the front end of the back-to-back on the 28th. So Friday night, then played Saturday, off Sunday. Q tag today. I don't ever take Joel Embiid off the floor unless I need to take Joel Embiid off the floor. I am going to rebuild this rotation because I have Embiid out from Friday. But this will be quick. We're going to go 37 minutes to Tyrese Maxey. We're going to go 37 minutes to James Harden. We're going to go 33 minutes to Tobias Harris. PJ Tucker in for 29. And then Joel Embiid in for 34. Now, Paul Reed did not play, even with Joel Embiid out. Trez was the backup. They started PJ Tucker. So they went ultra small, which is important to remember. I'm going to give 10 minutes to Trez. 4 of those minutes at the center can go to PJ Tucker. Niang seems to be pretty set in stone at like 16 minutes. I can move Maxey down 7 more minutes and give him 26 at the 3. Daniel House's minutes slowly but surely going down. Has not been playing great so far this season. I'm going to give him 12, which should make the rest of this pretty easy. We've started to see Shake Milton back-to-back games in the rotation. Now I just need to make sure that he was legitimately in the rotation. He was indeed early off the bench too. Matisse Thybulle, first guy off the bench against the Bulls. No surprises there. That's the type of team you deploy him against. So I'm going to give Shake Milton 6 minutes. Harden at the backup point. D'Anthony Melton got the start on the 28th against Toronto. Then followed that up once Embiid got back. I assume with just his normal rotation, that would be correct. Okay, so we don't have to worry too much about Melton. We're going to go 20 minutes to Melton. And now I'm going to go 21 to Melton. 10-man rotation. We'll give Thybulle 5 minutes. Thybulle playing 20 minutes a game for the past 2 games is interesting. Don't know where those minutes would come from, particularly on the 29th. Like, they kind of came from PJ Tucker. And not even kind of. They came from PJ Tucker. I actually feel more comfortable going 11 to Thybulle and moving Embiid around, or moving Harden around a little bit. Yeah, that feels a little bit better. There we go. Now, rates, I don't think I need to change, but I just want to pull them again. What are the rates for this team when Embiid plays? Because Maxey's usage rate has been a bit higher than I was expecting this season. And I think making sure that I have that in is paramount. Harden, yeah, like I have Harden's rates in for Embiid being out. So Harden's been at 27% usage so far. Yeah, we got to gut everything here. Embiid has been at 35. Maxey is at 24. Tobias Harris is not at 24. He is at 15 and a half. I don't even have to leave that dude in there like that. Even Melton's chucking. Not enough. It's 14.5% usage. So I think I'm pretty good just leaving Harden, Embiid, and Maxey's usage rates in and letting everybody else just shake out where they do. On the assist rate side, Harden, massive assist rate so far. Maxey, not a massive assist rate so far. Embiid, normal assist rate. Tobias Harris, not involved with the assist. Not involved really in any way with this team. Melton's is also down a bit, but again, it should be. And then finally, rebounding. We want to make sure we get Harden correct. Even pulling down more rebounds. James Harden having a hell of a year so far. Embiid rebounding down a hair, but nothing too crazy. Is Tobias Harris getting rebounds at least? Not really. Less than you would expect. And then Maxey just does not participate in rebounds. All right, so that's Philly. Let's go to the Washington side. Obviously, we know DeLon Wright is out now for the foreseeable future. Corey Kispert is questionable. I know that Corey Kispert is going to be working his way back to the rotation. That's a guarantee. Has not made his debut quite yet. Going to assume that Corey Kispert plays today. I haven't heard any reason not to. Corey Kispert. No news on Corey Kispert, so let's just assume that he plays today. We've had 2 games now with DeLon Wright out. They are on a back-to-back. They did play yesterday, and they lost by 18 to the Boston Celtics. I'm going to scratch this entire rotation as well. It's always good to start from the beginning on a Monday. So 2 games in, we've seen Monty Morris play 31 minutes and 27 minutes. Now, obviously, this game was not competitive yesterday. Monty Morris played a relatively normal rotation, did not close, but no one in the real closing, like no one closed that's real. So on the 28th, Washington lost by 10 to Indiana. Monty Morris, for all intents and purposes, closed. They did pull everybody kind of late. They did switch to Denny right at the last stretch, but I don't know. I think 31 minutes for Will Barton feels about right. Or for Monty Morris feels about right. So that sounds good. Bradley Beal is 36 minutes. We're doing that. That's easy. Kristaps Porzingis feels like 30 is safe. Rui feels pretty good at 24. Kyle Kuzma feels pretty good at 33, 34, 33. So that part is kind of easy. Daniel Gafford's the backup center, but they're not splitting every minute at center. So I'm going to give Gafford something like 14. Say that Rui is the other 4. I guess we need to move Kyle Kuzma up a spot. Denny's minutes are just weird. This dude has played 7, 23, 14, 27, 20, and 11. Denny Avdia is just, you never know what. So I'm going to go 20 for Denny. I think that Will Barton's experience in yesterday's game is probably not going to be normal. I think that we could feel pretty comfortable of at least 24 to Will Barton. I'm going to go 22. That'll allow me to go to 21 on Denny. I'll feel a little bit better about that. There's 24. And then we just got to go to Kispert and someone else. I think Anthony Gill's days in this rotation are long gone. Maybe not long gone, but mostly gone if Kispert's back. What I think they're going to do is have Beal work a little bit as the backup. Kispert play, and I don't know if they go to Johnny Davis or to Jordan Goodwin. I'm just going to give the minutes to Johnny Davis now that I have him in, but everything else I think stays the same from a rates perspective. This team hasn't changed anything. I've already DeLon Wright isn't that guy. So that's Washington and Philly. Oh, we're at 7 o'clock. I am rambling today. This is going to be a longer one. We are at 167 viewers, 80 likes. That's on me. I didn't ask for the past half hour. If you're here and you haven't done it yet, hit that thumbs up. Let's see if we can get up over that 100 mark at 7 a.m. Now, to Philly. I like Maxey a lot at 6K on DraftKings. 0.9 fantasy points per minute so far this season. That's where he is as well. I like Embiid on FanDuel. Like, Joel Embiid on FanDuel should never be 9,600. Even if you think he's different this season, he's still 1.3 fantasy points per minute. And that's not what you expect him to maintain. So I love Embiid on FanDuel. I'm going to get a ton. Embiid, Harden, Maxey, you can kind of just do whatever you want with. Maxey on FanDuel is a little bit more difficult at 7K. Tough sell, though, on Tobias Harris or PJ Tucker. On the Washington side, and nothing here really for the Wizards. That's going to be a little bit of Kuzma, a little bit of Porzingis. I don't really like the Wizards all that much. So you can see here now, that's Twitter. You can see here now, after 2 games, you're loading up on the Charlotte side on DraftKings. Sabonis looks great on FanDuel. Embiid looks great on FanDuel. Maxey looks great on DraftKings. Smith, Hayward, Oubre, Maxey, Sabonis. Hell of a core 5, right? Just through 2 games only. All righty. 2 games down. 5 to go. Good start. 94 likes as well, so we're going to soar over that 100 number. I won't even have to ask again. I will ask, but I won't have to ask. Now we'll go to Indiana. This is the game that we're going to be paying attention to most. Well, one of the two, but this one in particular. Indiana, 8.5-point underdog in Brooklyn. 237 total. Indiana might be the worst defense in the league, and Brooklyn might also be the worst defense in the league. This is going to be a real treat. We'll start on the Indiana side. Turner back. Nesmith questionable. TJ McConnell questionable. So nothing we're not really doing anything here with that information. We did see Miles Turner get to 32 minutes on the 28th. That is very important because that was not an overtime game. We just saw Turner play the way that we expect. I also think that it's interesting. Miles Turner had a staggered rotation in the second half. He came in late third, started the fourth quarter, came out briefly, and then came back on. So they are trying to play Turner 30-plus minutes. That is very, very important information. I am going to cut this entire rotation just because it's a Monday, and that's easier. Halliburton in for 33 minutes. Yes. Buddy Hield in for a lot of minutes, I guess. I mean, he played probably increased minutes because of no Nesmith and no Turner, but at the same time, seems like Buddy Hield's playing 32 minutes a game. We're going to get Buddy Hield in for 32 minutes. Mathurin, I have no idea. I'm going to feel pretty comfortable going 28. I think that's the guy they want it to be. I'm going 31 to Turner. I think that's the intention. And I think he fits this matchup really well as a rim deterrent. And then, I mean, Jalen Smith just plays, 3 straight games, 29, 31, 33 or whatever. He's just playing. So I have no reason to suspect he's not playing 30 minutes. I mean, it just seems like he's going to be playing 30 minutes. We'll see how wrong I end up being. All right, Isaiah Jackson as the backup. Probably playing like 17. And just take it. I got to give TJ McConnell his backup run. Duarte's minutes are dwindling. See what I did there? I mean, Neesmith, he started on the 28th and then just didn't play with the Q tag. I assume he starts again and plays. All right, this is the only tricky part of this rotation. All right, so we need to get Neesmith, Nembhard, and Duarte into 54 minutes apiece. Neesmith has to be the guy that takes the bulk of that. So we're going to do... That's 16 to Neesmith. We're going to do 24 there. We're going to do 14 to Nembhard, 16 to Chris Duarte. Rates can stay the same. Maybe. In the games that Miles Turner has played so far, does he have any usage rate that matters? That's really the only thing that I need to know. Neesmith is questionable. 57 minutes for Turner, 24% usage rate. Okay, that's a thing that happened. That is a thing that happened. Take Jalen Smith's usage rate away. Heald could hold at 22. Mathurin can hold at 25. We'll let the rest of those fall as they may. So that's Indiana. Man, I'm really anxious to see what this looks like. Now we go to the Brooklyn side. For Brooklyn, Q tag on Seth. Oh, Seth Curry. Is he back? He must have played, didn't he? If he's Q for rest management, that means he played. Seth Curry played 2 nights ago. That's fun to see. Alrighty. Well, I assume he's playing if that's the case. So I'm going to scratch this entire Brooklyn rotation. Stop me if you've heard this before. We're going to go... it's got to be 37 minutes to Kyrie. Actually, I'm going 38 to Kyrie. We're going to go 37 to Durant. We're going to go 37 to Royce O'Neal. We got to go 35 to Ben Simmons. I'm going to go 34 to Ben Simmons. Clax plays, 23, 24 minutes. It's a good spot for him against Turner. Oh, no. Well, I don't know why I'm saying 23, 24. It's got to be more than that. It's got to be 27 for Clax. I don't think Keefe's going to get that run. Need to go. Joe Harris is going to need like 23 minutes. I'm going to assume Seth Curry just slowly works his way back, gets 18. We're getting there. We have 26 minutes left over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They basically ran a 9-man rotation. So this is going to be 2 sets of 13. That's going to go to what? Yuta Watanabe for 13. And then Patty Mills, Markieff Morris. You can get away with... I think it's probably more likely to be a Patty Mills day just because of how small Indiana is. So let's do something like that. I think we can do that. That right there works. Now, rates, I'm going to be very conscious of Ben Simmons' rates here because the last game, so that the game on the 27th, when he was very, very popular, his player props were way lower than what I had projected and what the industry had projected. And I thought that was pretty interesting to see. I think that the public is a believer in his reduced scoring rate. So Kyrie so far this season is at 32% usage. I'm going to take him up to 31. Kevin Durant is at 33.5. I'm going to take him up to 33. Ben Simmons, usage rate so far this season is 13. I'm going to take him down a little bit further. I think everybody else's usage rate just sort of has to fall into place. There's not enough usage to go around. Fizzy, you really can we? I'm putting this up on the screen for how ridiculous it is. They like Watanabe. I mean, that is almost there. I like that, man. I like that a lot. That's funny. All right, Kyrie assist rate. Down a bit. Nothing too crazy. KD down a lot of bit. Which makes sense. There's nobody to pass to. Ben Simmons, assist rate is legitimate. But don't have anything to say about that. Nobody else really does anything crazy with the ball. And then we handle rebounds. Ben Simmons' rebound rate looks fine. KD not getting rebounds either. Interesting. Kyrie, obviously not that kind of player. Nick Claxton, normal rebounding rate. Okay, so that's Brooklyn. I assume this looks good. Indiana. Okay, here we go. $5,500 Miles Turner on DraftKings is insane. And I don't even think I have him projected crazy. If Miles Turner just plays like a normal center today, 5,500 is dumb. As is 5,500 for Jalen Smith. These guys are both 1.05 to 1.1 fantasy points per minute, guys. Halliburton looks good. Hield looks good. Mathurin looks good. Jalen Smith for 5,900 on FanDuel looks really good. Really, really, really like the Indiana side here. A lot. They look a lot like Charlotte. Right out of the gate, a lot more plays today than I was expecting. On the Brooklyn side, whoo, boy. $9,500 Kyrie on DK and FanDuel. Yes, you want all of the Kyrie today, no matter what his thoughts are on if we live on a flat earth or any other particular pieces of literature that he's trying to take in. KD for 10K on both sites, I think works. Royce O'Neal, oddly enough, 4,800 is a solid enough value play as a 0.7 guy. There is a giant downside to Royce O'Neal, that's for sure. I mean, Ben Simmons' projection is he looks really good. He does. Claxton's solid too. I'm going to pull up. I'm going to see if Ben has right now. So I'm going to check out the props. Because my guess, I have Ben Simmons at 10.5 points for today. My assumption is that Ben Simmons' points prop is going to be like 9, 8.5 maybe. And that's going to be a very interesting thing. I think assists and rebounds will probably be fine. But the real issue here is that Brooklyn's projected to score 123 points. Right out of the gate, that's 123 fantasy points that need to get allocated to people. There's no getting away from that when that's the line. All right, so Brooklyn Nets player props. I nailed it. So Ben Simmons points prop for today is shaded to the over, but it is set at 8.5 minus 130. I think you can comfortably say that it's somewhere just slightly north of 9. So I think I'm a point over it. I don't really think it's a problem to keep it there. The rebound prop is at 7.5, aggressively shaded to the over. So I don't mind 8.5. And then the assist prop is at 7.5, no juice. And that's exactly where I have it. So I actually do think this Ben Simmons projection is legitimate. I don't have any reason to think that that should change. By the way, Kyrie's points prop for today is 29.5. So I may be a little high there. It wouldn't be the first time. Similar for Durant. Maybe I take a minute away from both of them and go to 37 and 36. You do something like that. That way they still look good, but not like crazy good. But I like Simmons here quite a bit. And I know we're going to get pilloried for that, but all right, I took Simmons down to 13. That takes the points prop to 10. I actually think that's legitimate. I think those lines look good, and unequivocally Brooklyn looks good. This whole game looks good. I mean, look what happens when we add game 3 into these pivots. There's Ben Simmons, 4th on FanDuel. Kyrie comes in 3rd. You know, you get Royce O'Neal, borderline top 10. Kyrie here, 4th on DraftKings. You get Jalen Smith up there, Miles Turner up there. Oddly enough, Turner and Sabonis look identical today. Ben Simmons, top 10. Royce O'Neal, top 10. Durant at 11. Incredible game. Let's go to Atlanta and Toronto now. All right, for the Hawks. Actually, I got to check and see how many people do we have here. Because we're taking our sweet time today. We are breaking down rotation. We're going to do the same tomorrow, too. We've got nothing but time. 215 viewers, 109 likes. Love it. Love to see it. Love to see it. Atlanta Hawks. Who's in? Who's out? That's what we need to know. No Bogdan Bogdanovic, so standard issue Hawks rotation. This one might be one that we don't actually have to change. 36 minutes to Trae Young, yes. Sure. 36 to Trae Young, 37 to DeJounte, 32 to DeAndre Hunter definitely needs to come down. We'll make that 30. I've got Justin Holiday in for 20. We've got Clint Capella in for 27. Onyeka Okongwu in for 21. John Collins in for 34. All this seems fine. Aaron Holiday been playing a little bit more as of late. It came up, but I don't have any rates to change. This has just been Atlanta, so this works for me. And then, obviously, unless there's somebody out here, we know exactly what we're doing with Toronto. One of the easiest teams to project. Otto Porter, the only person that's out. So we basically just need to see how many minutes they're going to be playing Chris Boucher. I've got Van Vliet in for 37. We're going to take Gary Trent down to 36. We're going to take OG Anunoby is in at 36. We're going to take him to 35. I might actually take Trent down one more. I'll be all right. Barnes in for 35. We're going to make that 34. Siakam obviously in at 37. That one's not changing. Precious at 22 is fine. Boucher slowly ramping up a little bit more. We'll get him to 19. Koloko in at 8. Delano Banton in at 6. Malachi Flynn in at 5. I'm going to give one more minute to Boucher, but we know this team. It's the easiest team in the league to project. Holy hell, I already forgot about who they're playing. Atlanta. Okay, so we're going to have to take I think we're going to have to take a minute away from John Collins. I thought that I had him projected a bit too high. Feels like we do. I am going to cross-reference his prop just to make, like, if I'm 4 points off on his points, then I know that I'm off a little bit. Player prop on John Collins' points reads at 14.5. I got him at 17.5. I got to take a minute away from John Collins. I can be a little over on Collins, but I don't want to be that far over. Take him down to 33. Still heavy on John Collins' points in too aggressive of a manner, but is his usage rate down? Is the problem that I just have his usage over projected? John Collins' usage so far this season is 16.5, not the 20 that I have him projected for. Goodbye usage rate for John Collins. Murray in at 24, yes. Trae Young in at 32, no. Trae Young should be in at 34. Boom. That will bring John Collins down to 14.5 points, which puts him right in line with his projection. Now I feel good. Now I feel good. That makes way more sense. Is John Collins' rebounding rate lower too? I mean, that would make sense, but I thought it was good before. Yeah, it is. He's actually pulling down those boards. All right. So now Atlanta calms down a little bit. Murray, Young, Collins, Capella, those are the guys you're trying to play. But there are no priorities coming out of Atlanta, but you're cycling through those starters. Tough matchup, too, against Toronto. Oh, boy. All right, well, that's a problem. All right, so we're playing the whole starting lineup for the Raptors. VanVleet, Siakam, Trent, Anunoby, Barnes. VanVleet for 7,700 on both sites is a broken price tag. Gary Trent, 5,700 and 5,400, I like quite a bit. But let's look at the props. This is another thing that we should be cross-referencing each morning. Because if we're off by multiple points, we either need to think, one, let's look through the rates. If we look through the rates and the rates match and we're off by multiple points, then those are things that I would actually be happy to bet early in the morning or like the night before if possible. But more often than not, I'm just going to assume that I'm off by a minute or off by a usage point or something. So like VanVleet, I got in for over 16.5. He's in for 20 here, but the line is 16.5 minus 140. I'm all right with VanVleet. I might take a minute away from him, actually, since I took one from everybody. Take him down to 36. We take Trent down to 35. I think that reads a little bit better. We've got Siakam. His line is at 24.5, but the under is minus 125. So I'm happy with Siakam's line. Gary Trent is at 18.5. That's exactly where I have him. Anunoby's at 16.5. Or I have him at 16. The line's 15.5. Barnes' line is at 15.5, shaded to the under. That's where I have him. So I'm happy now with where we have those rates. But still, we're playing Toronto. Look at those booms. 23, 29, 23, 29. And just for synergy's sake, I'm going to say 23 again. Toronto is going to be like the least fun team to roster because any one of those guys having the day doesn't surprise you. It's so normal. But like, look at these guys on DraftKings. Anunoby, VanVleet, Barnes, Siakam, Trent. They are 10th, 11th, 13th, 14th, and 15th so far this season. I said that because I read Bull's message in chat saying it's his first time tuning in, and it changed what I was saying. Thanks to have you. Oh my God, guys. Thank you for being here. Happy to have you. Go Raptors today. That's what I'm saying. Go Raptors. 3 more to go here. This one might be a little bit of a tougher sell for the Pistons, at least. 12.5-point dogs against the Milwaukee Bucks in Milwaukee. 229 total. Kind of brutal. Let's look at the Detroit side of this one first. And for Detroit, Jalen Duren is doubtful, ankle injury. Don't know when that happened. Assume it's over the weekend, considering I didn't see it. Just to double check, make sure he's properly on the injury report. Okay, so they're on a back-to-back, so we don't know. So did Jalen Duren get hurt yesterday? He must have. I assume Jalen Duren left yesterday's game early. Gets carried to the locker room. Anybody see the Pistons game yesterday? Holy shit, they beat Golden State by 14. All right, Duran. All right, so if he got injured late. It was the last thing that he did. All right, Duran appeared to be in considerable pain after landing awkwardly. I think we can just pretty safely say that they're not going to rush him back today and he's not going to play. So I'm going to take Jalen Duran out of my projections as a backup. I don't think it's all that important to what we're doing here. It does make Isaiah Stewart like a little bit more interesting. Beef Stew playing 29 minutes a game. Who would be their other center? Is Nerlens Noel available? Noel is back. I think they're just going to go to straight Nerlens Noel. They don't have any other choices. They don't have any fours. They don't have a single four on this team. I think we're going to get Nerlens Noel for 19 minutes. There's just no reason to project Duran in at this point. And like, barring foul trouble, Beef Stew could play 30-31. Jaden Ivey in for 30, good. Cade in for 34, good. Sadiq Bey in for 33. I'm going to make that 32. Billion Hayes in for 17. Boyan in for 32. Yeah, I think we're already good for Detroit. Just swapping out Nerlens Noel for Jalen Duran, but otherwise that seems right. And then on the Milwaukee side, I don't think we're going to like a lot of I don't think we're going to like a lot of Detroit today. Damn, that coffee is scrumptious today. All right, for Milwaukee. No Middleton, no Connaughton, no Ingles. This is the same Milwaukee rotation we see every time. 34 minutes for Drew. 34 minutes for Giannis. 29 minutes for Brook Lopez. I could make a real case that should be 30. 25 for Portis. That's just what he plays. Javon Carter. Grayson Allen. Take Grayson Allen down a minute. This is... Oh, Beauchamp played on the 29th. I assume that was just blowout run or something. We're going to take... Yeah, George Hill's minutes seem fine at 22. Not a lot to really read into here. All the rates are going to stay the same. Although, I don't think that I've looked at Milwaukee all that much. So let's just make sure we are getting Drew Holiday and Giannis's usage rate correct. Because if we want to get anything right, that's the most important piece. 35 for Giannis, bingo. 25.5 for Drew, bingo. I don't have any other changes to make. So let's look at this one. Detroit. Yeah. Okay, so $5,200 Stewart on DraftKings. Having the power forward eligibility, that works for me. And he's all right at $5,600 on FanDuel too, but a little overpriced. $5,300 for Bay on FanDuel is okay. No priorities here, but I think there's something real about Isaiah Stewart at $5,200 today. Getting that power forward eligibility. And then finally, Milwaukee side. It is pretty hard not to like Giannis. I have Giannis projected for 1.8 fantasy points per minute. The problem is and I use the term problem pretty loosely. 12,500 on DraftKings, 12K on FanDuel. Clearly, you can still get the Drew at those prices. Brook Lopez, 5,100 is a nice value on DK. He's $1,400 more expensive on FanDuel. That's insane. Going to be real hard to go to Brook Lopez on FanDuel, if at all. Portis is fine. 5,400, you get that power forward eligibility as well, but minutes seem pretty fixed. Not a ton to like here, but clearly play the Giannis and Drew Holidays of the world. 2 games to go now. Memphis, Utah. Grizzlies are 3.5-point favorites at the Jazz. 234 total, though. That's a real total for Memphis. Q tag on Ja Morant. Illness. Did not play 2 nights ago. Obviously, we're projecting Ja Morant to play. No Jackson, no Zaire Williams. Q-tag on Jake LaRavia. We're not making any real changes here. This is a rotation we're aware of. Ja Morant in for 34 minutes. I'm going to make that 33. I've got Tyus Jones in for 24. That feels good. Desmond Bane in for 33 minutes. I got Steven Adams in for 29. That number can come down. We're going to make that 27. Dylan Brooks minutes are climbing. Played 29 without Morant. I think he's going to play 29 with Morant as well. So there's that. Konchar's minutes was still 28, but that was without Ja. I got him in for 24. That seems right. Brandon Clark in for 18. That seems right. I don't think I have any other changes to make. All of the usage rate type stuff seems fine. So that's Memphis. Memphis easy. And they're going to look really good here against Utah. Now for this Utah team, Mike Conley, available. Walker Kessler, questionable. No Rudy Gay. No Fontecchio. This should just be the Utah rotation that I had in. 31 minutes for Conley. We're going to make it 30. We'll get Sexton in for 18. I got 30 minutes in for Clarkson. Seems about right. Got Malik Beasley in for 24. Walker Kessler is the backup to Kelly Olynyk. Talen Horton-Tucker not playing those 20 minutes. Akbaji finally in the rotation. So that'll split Akbaji and Talen Horton-Tucker. Jared Vanderbilt I have in for 27. That might even be lofty. I think we're good here, though. 33 for Markkanen. Could make a case that should be 34. Bull, what do you mean what's up with Sexton? Yeah, I guess I mean, I think these minutes look fine. Kelly Olynyk's not going to play 32 minutes unless Walker Kessler is out. Wow, so he played 34. They must have went really small. They must have went Vanderbilt back up. Yeah, I mean, low minute. He's working his way back from a torn up knee, but he's also really, really, really bad defensively. I don't have to change any rates or anything. That's Utah. Kind of a tricky rotation for Utah. I don't totally trust it. On the Memphis side, I don't really like a lot here. Bane, to me, is a bit overpriced. Ja is good, but like probably a hair overpriced. I probably have Santi Aldama overprojected, and I didn't notice it until right now. So let me double check that. Santi Aldama, I have in for 30 minutes. I mean, he is playing 30 minutes, but I'm going to take one of those minutes away and take it to 29. Adams for 5K is like an okay value. There's just not a lot here for Memphis today. I think everybody's just sort of priced appropriately for Dylan Brooks being back. On the Utah side, I mean, Markkanen, Clarkson, Conley, Olynyk on DK all look pretty good. They don't look nearly as good on FanDuel. Markkanen's $500 more expensive. Clarkson's $300 more expensive. Kelly Olynyk is $300 more expensive. Good, not great options on Utah. If it stays competitive, you like it, but not a lot there. And now we close it out. Final game of the slate. 240 people, 128 likes. I have nothing else to say other than just hit that like button, but you guys have been fantastic. Let's close it out. Houston Rockets in the Los Angeles Clippers, or at the Los Angeles Clippers. Rockets are 10-point dogs, 224 total. Eric Gordon is in. He had skipped the last one for rest. Still no Bruno Fernando. Ty Washington. Going to be back soon. And by back, I mean making a debut. On the Clippers side, no Kawhi, John Wall doubtful, so I assume they're on a back-to-back. Covington questionable. COVID protocols. That's something I'm going to have to search for. So let's start with Houston, which should actually be pretty easy. We are going to have to put Eric Gordon back on the floor, which means I am going to gut this entire rotation. Make it easier. We've got KPJ, starting point guard, 34 minutes, yes. We've got Jalen Green, starting two guard, 34 minutes, yes. We've got Eric Gordon, who has been playing 31 minutes a game. Straight away, going 31. Boom. Şengün is here. Now, they got smacked, but Şengün in the starting lineup, so people can be happy again. We'll get Şengün in for 27. Good deal. We get Jayshawn Tate in for 28, 27. Go 27. Now, Eason, Nix, Matthews, Garuba, Christopher was the backup. They played an 11-man rotation. And that was without Eric Gordon. So I assume they're going to do something like that again. We're going to give Garuba 9 minutes. I'm going to give Jabari Smith 28 minutes, 29 minutes. Something like that. We'll give Eason 14. I got to get Kenyon Martin's minutes out there too. Shit. I don't know, 22? I mean, I don't have enough minutes to go around. Someone's leaving the rotation. So Josh Christopher's not going to play. Actually, I think Usman Garuba is not going to play. So I'm going to take Garuba's minutes away. I got Garrison Matthews in for 13. And then we're going to get Daishan Nix in for 9. I'm going to go 11 and 11, but not that that matters. Everything else stays the same. We got Jalen Green's usage, Kevin Porter's usage, Şengün's usage. Yeah, well, Tate played 18 and 20 because it was his first 2 games of the season. They're working Jayshawn Tate back. That's the expectation. The problem is they've got like 5 different guys that could all close. So you kind of get trapped into trying to figure out who it's going to be. But like when it comes to Houston, yeah, it might be a little healthy there. I just don't know where I want. Probably, maybe we go 25 to Tate, 24 to Kmart. Might even be a little aggressive. We'll take a peek at it. We'll take a peek at it. I might even be light on Jabari at 29. Yeah, I'm probably light on Jabari. I'm going to go to 31 on Jabari. I don't think I could take 1 from Eason, 1 from Martin. That feels about right now. Appreciate you pointing that out. I mean, I think they want Jayshawn Tate out there more often than not. It's hard to read into him just, though, because the 26th was his opener. Let's then close this one out with the Clippers. So we know there's no Kawhi. I got to search Robert Covington. If there's a lean that he's out, that's way easier. Because I know Norm Powell now the 6th man. We're not going to have John Wall. I got to cut this entire rotation. Let's see. Because we now have Marcus Morris back after missing 2 games. Robert Covington missed yesterday for COVID protocols. I mean, I assume that if he couldn't play yesterday, he's not playing today. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to leave Covington out for right now. So we're going to get Reggie Jackson. And he played 27 minutes the last time Wall was out. I think that like 28 minutes for Reggie Jackson feels about right. Houston can get away with playing Zubats the big time minutes. I don't think he's going to if Marcus Morris is healthy. So I'm going to go 26 to Zoo. I'm going to say that. I mean, they're going to start alongside each other. So who can play the 5 when it's not Zubats or Morris? I assume it's Batum. So what did they do yesterday? Let's take a peek at this. We might not even have this because it was a blowout. All right, so Zubats and Morris played alongside each other. When Morris came out, they went to a full bench mob. Batum, Powell, Wall, Kennard, Coffee. Okay, so they're willing to say Batum is the backup center here when it's not Morris or Zubats, because they staggered them then here. And then they staggered Zubats and Morris later in the game, but it got away. I mean, like, technically nobody's the backup center. This team just doesn't have one. We can call it Batum. He's not. Like, it's honestly probably more, like, Norm Powell might be bigger than Nick Batum. Like, if we just want to talk, like, general size, not that this matters. All right, Nick Batum, 6'8". Paul George also 6'8". Marcus Morris 6'8". Covington, Coffee 6'7", 6'7". Brandon Boston 6'7". None of it matters. All right, we're gonna do. Marcus Morris played 27 minutes. I'm gonna go to 26 again. I'm gonna go to 28 minutes on Morris, with like 12 of them at center. That'll let me do Batum for 10. He's not playing much more than that, so we'll go to 18. We know we need to get Paul George in. I'm going to say George plays 34. Joseph, they're not going to close with Batum. All right, Norm Powell is going to need some bench minutes. Backup point guard, I guess, is... I don't know. I need to start giving minutes to everybody so I can see their rates. God, this team is the worst. 24 minutes to Kennard, I think. Hard to, I mean, 26 minutes to Powell. Like, Powell's going to close. Reggie Jackson, Powell, PG, Morris, question mark is going to be the closing lineup here, but who the hell knows? And like, if Covington ends up playing, then all bets are off there too. Terrence Mann's just playing like 20 minutes a game right now. I'll go 22. That's 8-man rotation. Who are we missing so far? It's not going to be Covington. We need to get Coffee out there. Amir Coffee's probably good for like 16. Who are we missing? No Kawhi, no Covington. This is the same rotation they just had. Oh, yeah, no. So no Wall opens up. They won't play Jason Preston. They never play Jason Preston. I mean, Brandon Boston might actually play now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9. They might actually go to a 9-man rotation. So the last time we had Wall out and Kawhi out, they did go to a 9-man rotation. Now, that included Covington. But if we just turn Covington into Amir Coffey, I think that I need to start bumping up some minutes here. This is going to be a really interesting game. I think that the Clippers are going to be sneakier than they seem because they have not gone to Diabate, Moses Brown, Brandon Boston, Jason Preston. They have not played those guys on purpose. So there are more minutes here than I'm originally anticipating. I have 18 minutes to spread through these 9 guys. So we need to think about it from a closing perspective. Because the guys that close are going to play 30 minutes here. It's going to look more like this game on the 27th. I think Marcus Morris might play 30 minutes. It doesn't appear that they try to go bigger to the minutes for Nick Batum. They could because there's no Covington. They just haven't. It's hard to go too many more to Norm Powell if he's not starting. So I am going to give 2 more to Terrence Mann. I think that I got to take Reggie Jackson to 30. So now we still have 12 minutes left over. Now, at one point, we're not going to project all 12 because we're going to need some spillover. If this game is any way out of hand, like that's, 14 minutes there, even just 5 there. We're probably a couple away from doing what we need to do. Amir Coffey feels right at 16. Kennard is the guy that can fall into a bunch of extra time, potentially. But I can't go too much more than 24. I mean, Zubats has closed 3 of the 6 games so far this year, including one that had Marcus Morris. So they don't close with Ivica Zubats against a team that's heavy on a pick and roll attack late because they don't want to play Zubats in a drop. They'd rather just switch everything. But if you're playing the Houston Rockets and your 10-point favorites and Alperen Şengün is like, if they take Şengün off and close with Jabari and they're trying to do a lot more pick and roll to close, that changes things for Zubats. But when you're shorthanded by Kawhi Leonard and John Wall and your backup center and Robert Covington, then you play Zubats a little bit more. But we're talking about a guy that's played 35 minutes 3 separate times this year. I'm going to 28 minutes now on Zubats. That allows me to get to 10 additional minutes. I don't think there's anybody else whose minutes I could touch right now. We're going to get Jackson closing, Paul George closing, Marcus Morris closing. I think Norm Powell closes. And then who the hell knows on the 5th guy. So at that point, I'm going to go 5 minutes Brandon Boston. 5 minutes Moses Brown as placeholders. I don't have to change any rates. That's just going to be what it is. So, final game, final teams. Houston Rockets. Oh boy. Who wants Şengün season? 5,200 on DraftKings for Alperen Şengün. He's going to get jammed into lineups. He is 6,400 on FanDuel. He's good, not great. If you get to Jalen Green or Kevin Porter Jr., both guys look fine. There's not much else here for me from Houston, but Şengün on DraftKings has a broken price tag. Reggie Jackson could get 35 minutes. I don't think that would be... I don't think Reggie Jackson playing 34 today would be crazy at all. They just seem loath to do that unless they have to. Then on the Clippers, yeah. Oh my... Why is Paul George 8,200 on FanDuel? I'm going to have Paul George in everything today. That's an asinine price tag for Paul George. And you get shooting guard, small forward. Paul George is the best play on FanDuel. It's not close today. It's not close. Do I have him over projected? Because I got him at 27 real points. This is one where we need to look at it. So that's insane. Okay, so there are no player props up yet for this game. So we'll have to look at that a little bit later. That is just lunacy. Lunacy. Even if I want to just knock down Paul George's usage rate a little bit, it's still going to be exceptional at 8,200. Just silly. An absolutely silly price tag. And he looks good at 9,300 on DraftKings. Like, even that's not crazy. Reggie Jackson, 5,300, 4,800 is going to stand out, assuming you think he could play 30 minutes. Marcus Morris looks like a pretty good value. I like Norm Powell off the bench at 4,300 on FanDuel. That works for me. Oddly enough, Zubats is priced correctly, so you need him to close. Kennard, man, I mean, you get a lot of options here for the Clippers, that's for sure. But George Morris Jackson on DK, I think that's where you need to be. All righty. Well, let's run some crunches, folks. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hitting the like button. Let's find out how everything looks. Where is this window at? There it is. All right. FanDuel Optimals. Let's start it off. Wow, I have Giannis 11 fantasy points ahead of Joel Embiid on FanDuel today. Very curious to see if he makes my optimal. All right, FanDuel Optimals. $331.76. That is the optimal by 0.42. Ben Simmons, Reggie Jackson, Paul George, Drew Holiday, Gary Trent, Norm Powell, Domantas Sabonis, Isaiah Stewart, Joel Embiid. So it doesn't get to Giannis, but Giannis is in the second lineup, which would lead me to get to that a little bit more. You bump Beef Stew down, and you basically take Giannis over Embiid and find a little bit more value elsewhere, but nothing that I see there surprises me in any way. You've got 3 straight games out of Ben Simmons scoring 30-plus fantasy points. He's scored 30-plus in 4 of the 5. So, people need to pump the brakes here too. I like this. I don't see anything there that stands out as like problematic or weird. Let's look at the power rankings. FanDuel power rankings. Am I crazy? Why is Paul George not showing up more here? I would have assumed Paul George was in everything right now. I don't know what's slowing that down. Is that just... It's not even a positional thing. That's really weird. Oh, now he's climbing. There he is. As soon as I say it, he rockets to the top. Yeah, it's Paul George, Ben Simmons, Kyrie, Reggie Jackson, Kelly Oubre, Gordon Hayward, Domantas Sabonis, Drew Holiday, Gary Trent, Joel Embiid. That's looking like the tippy top of the spear here. But best I can tell, Paul George going to be the number 1 contender for today. Ben Simmons, not too far behind. Same for Reggie Jackson, Sabonis, Hayward. You see all these guys at 21% or higher, where everybody else is at 19 or below. You can see a pretty clean line in the sand there. I like this slate. What do we have coming up for the rest of the week? We got 7 games today. We got 4 tomorrow. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We got 11 on Wednesday, so another biggie Wednesday slate. Just 2 games on Thursday, which is pretty annoying. And then 2, 4, 6. Then we got a 12 gamer on Friday. Ugh. All right, PG, Sabonis, Simmons, Hayward, Jackson, top 5. Kyrie at 6. Let's go to DraftKings. DK, where I have Giannis, a crisp 12.5 points ahead of Kyrie for second. Where did... Oh, there it is. I'm dumb. All right, DraftKings. No idea what the optimal will look like on DK here. That's why we do this. To find out what it looks like. 292.1. So this is the optimal by 0.16. Dennis Smith Jr., Mathurin, Gordon Hayward, Jalen Smith, Isaiah Stewart, Irving, Simmons, and Şengün. Look at how balanced that is. Outside of Kyrie Irving, 6K, 6K, 62, 55, 52, 64, 52. That's everybody in a band of 5,200 to 62, no, to 6,400. 52 to 64, everybody except for Kyrie. Wow. Wow. Really, really balanced on DraftKings. Let's see what the power rankings look like. That's an interesting DraftKings build. Very anxious to talk to Adam about this slate. I think this is pretty tricky on DK. Hornets season, that's for sure. Holy hell. We might be going Hornet, top 3. All right, getting there. So it looks like Gordon Hayward is going to be the #1 contender on DraftKings. Didn't see that one coming, but, 6,200 against Sacramento makes some sense to me. Has he been any? Yeah, 33, 30, 38. He's in sniffing distance of everything. If he just puts together a day where he gets a couple defensive stats, that's going to be all you're looking for. I mean, at 6,200, you're only looking for a little over 40 fantasy points. He can hit that on a 7-gamer pretty easily. All right, so, Oubre ran down Hayward. 40 left. Who's going to do it? It looks like it's going to be Oubre at the top. Kelly Oubre, #1. Gordon Hayward, 2. Dennis Smith Jr., 3. Reggie Jackson, 4. Maxey, Irving, Şengün, Anunoby, Kelly Olynyk, and Fred VanVleet rounding out everything else. On the DK side, this is going to be a very, very interesting slate. We didn't have a lot of Q tags. So any news that we get is relatively new. We're now there's not a lot hanging in other than Robert Covington. There weren't a lot of Q tags that are going to affect this slate. So this is tricky. This is really tricky because we've got Giannis out there. There's not a lot of down the line, low priced value. So getting to Giannis is really interesting. I love this. Love this slate right now. I hope it holds like this because you could really make some stands that aren't all that outlandish that people are just going to be not able to get to. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So let's do this. We'll bring that creepy witch back too. Guys, thank you for being here. What do we got in here right now? 240, 158 likes. We are in good shape. This is going to be a fun slate. I'm going to record contenders right now, or maybe I'll eat breakfast first. I don't know. I'm going to record contenders. They'll be up. Strategy show at 10 a.m. with Adam. We'll break down all 7 games. It's going to be a fun one. But that's it for me after that. So keep your eyes peeled to my Twitter, at Josh Engleman. That's where you get my top 10s on FanDuel and DraftKings updated for any news that we have, along with what I'm sort of doing on FanDuel for the day. After that, though, I don't have anything else, guys. This is gonna be it. Thank you guys for being here. Obviously, happy to have you. Enjoy your Halloween. Be safe. Watch out for those fentanyl-laced candy bars that seem to be everywhere. I know they're getting people right now, but enjoy everything. Enjoy your Monday night. This was The Process. Boom.